Welcome to the Genius Way Show with your host, Ben Hummell. The aim of this show is to provide education, encouragement, and insights for people who are on their own personal development journeys. As a psychotherapist, teacher, author, and creator of the Genius Way process, Ben will focus on identifying common challenges to living a purposeful life, and will share valuable psychological and spiritual tools to help you make healthy and empowering life changes. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey friends, welcome to the Genius Way Show. I'm your host, Ben Hummell. Let's start today with a story. So there was once a teacher, and he was a very old teacher by this time, and he had taught many students and in the realm of psychology, spirituality. His name was Zusia, and he was probably a rabbi. And Zusia was just known for his wisdom, and he was known for being solid as a rock, and he just knew what his purpose was, and knew that he was a teacher. Everybody relied on him to be steady as a rock. And so it was surprising that one day when some of his students came in to see him, they saw him sitting on his bed, and he was weeping bitter tears. And they came in, they were like, they had never seen him like this before. And they were all kind of disturbed because they count on him to just be this solid guy, this guy that was just, he had the answers, and he was just a great guide to everybody. And so they came to him and they said, why are you crying? We never seen you like this. What's wrong? And he said, I'm crying because I learned that I'm going to be dying soon. And they said, well, we don't want to hear that. That's terrible. What are we going to do without you? But part of your teaching is that, life goes on after death. Life goes on, and you've taught us about this for a long time, that death is just another doorway into another life. And he says, no, that's not what I'm crying about. And I said, why are you crying? Are you afraid that in our tradition that God is going to say, hey, why weren't you more like Moses in your life? And he said, that's exactly it. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about God saying, why weren't you more like Moses? What I'm worried about is God saying to me when I die, why weren't you more like Zusia? Why weren't you more like yourself? And so at this point in Zusia's life, he had realized, wow, if I'm not myself, if I'm not teaching as who I am, if I'm just emulating something that I've read, if I'm just, copying somebody else, a huge part of my life and the point of my life has been missed. I'm concerned that that's going to show up when I die. Okay, so I love this little story because it points out that we are all Zusia, each and every single one of us. Doesn't need to be more like anyone else. We need to be more like ourselves, because there is an importance to the fact that we were born and live and grow in the place where we were born, where we find ourselves, with the people we find ourselves around, with the circumstances, the time, everything about it is important. And the fact is that we have a gift to bring to the world. Just as we are, we have been, kind of pushed out of the womb of existence into this world. And we each have a certain gift or gifts to bring as like the basis of our life, which is Zusia saying, I needed to be more like Zusia. Moses was Moses, right? Any other character, any other person is them. What about me? What am I bringing? What is my job? What's my role? What is my gift to bring into this world? And so we come to find our gifts when we look closer for our genius. Our genius is that collection of skills, qualities, talents, callings, and gifts that we have to express in particular while we're here. And that genius has to do with life direction, life fulfillment, life purpose, a sense of meaning in our lives. When we gather those things together and we're expressing those things, somehow we understand that, okay, this is partly why I'm here. I get that feeling of, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I've been born, you know? So a lot of people, when they hear the word genius, they're thinking about Einstein and Mozart, and they are comparing themselves to that. And that's not really what genius is. That's the contemporary idea of genius, and it's just not the case. Genius is much older of a concept than that. And you can look, if you want to take kind of do an in-depth study. Michael Meade, who's a mythologist, talks about this, and the idea of finding this concept of genius, which is being born with something in particular, something special, something unique. Each person being born with that in so many different cultures all around the world throughout history. It's a very, very old and really well-known idea. Okay. And so what I'm doing here, I'm a psychotherapist and also, a spiritual teacher. And I'm bringing psychotherapy and the idea of unique genius expression together. And I kind of work on that with people. This is what I do, right? So for people who are feeling a deeper sense of like an urgency to express a deeper part of themselves, that's what I work on. And we see what psychology is in the way, and we kind of pull out what your gifts actually are so that you can like spend your time expressing those things. Okay. That's my job. That's my work. That's what my genius is. So the important thing, is when you're thinking about what is your gift, you got to realize that you have brought something with you just by the basic, evidence that you are here. You've brought something with you that is important for the world to have. Okay. And for this, you have to look a little bit more impersonally. You have to look a little bit deeper than, okay, what does the world need with how I play the trombone? What does the world need with how I do, bicycle repair? Whatever. I'm just bringing some miscellaneous ideas up. But your unique life is evidence enough that whatever you have in your bag of gifts, in your talents, in your callings, is needed for the time and place in which you find yourself. Okay? It's just self-evident. And the more you can get in touch with that and identify with it, the more you can get in touch with that layer of awareness where your genius exists, where your gifts are kept, the more you're going to experience a life of personal fulfillment, of purpose. And that's what makes the whole difference here, of living with a sense of purpose and living with a sense of meaning in your life. It makes you want to get up every day. It makes you want to, kind of get into your day and create and express and share your life with others. It makes a huge difference. So anyway, back to Zusia. Zusia realized right before he was going to die that he needed to be more himself. He needed to be more of Zusia. He learned there is nothing wrong with Zusia. There's nothing wrong with being exactly this. And I don't have to be Moses or Jesus or Buddha or anybody. I just need to be this. That's my job. So take it down to the level of where your life is. What if your only job, your only responsibility was to be more of who you are? to be more authentically you, to look into your treasure box of your gifts, your genius callings, your qualities that you brought here with you, and to get them out and express them so that they're out in the world. What if that was, you know, what if that was your job? That was your one and only job? And the way I'm looking at it, it is your unique energy, expression, vibration, your unique calling is one of the reasons that you're here. The universe or existence or whatever you want to say about it wants that quality to be part of this big primordial soup that we find ourselves in. And if you don't add that ingredient, something is missing from it. Okay, let's watch this little video about this topic. And then we're going to hop back on and dig deeper into your uniqueness and the importance of being more you.
What if I told you that your hidden talent could change your life? You have a unique genius inside you, and it's begging to be expressed. Every single one of us has a personal genius, a spark that's truly one of a kind. But here's the catch. Only those who recognize and express their genius experience true fulfillment and a sense of purpose. Imagine waking up every day, knowing you're living your best life because you're using your unique gift. Sounds incredible, right? Well, it's not just a fantasy, it's within your reach. The urgency is real, folks. There's only one you. No one else has your exact combination of talents, experiences, and perspectives. If you don't share your genius with the world, it will be lost forever. So what's stopping you? Dive deep, discover that hidden talent, and let it shine. Your unique genius is your superpower. Embrace it, express it, and transform your life today. Ready to unleash your genius? Let's get started.
So the key here is to realize that that idea of uniqueness, that idea that you have something that no one else has, isn't about making you special in terms of like, haha, I've got more than you. Aha, I'm better than you. It's not about that. It's that everyone has something unique and special. Everyone has something in particular to add to this whole dance of life, and that there is an importance in expressing that uniqueness that you have. Literally think of it this way. You are the only one in all of time that will be able to be you just exactly as you are and give exactly this gift in this way, right? You don't need to be the only person that plays the trombone or the only person that is a bicycle mechanic. But the way in which you do it, the uniqueness which you bring to whatever it is you express is the point. That's the point. And it's so magical to get in touch with that level of uniqueness that each individual has and get to feel this space where you're feeling the mandate from existence to be the most you that you can be. Okay, so what is a mandate? If you look it up in the dictionary, you will see a mandate is an authorization to act. They will give it from a court, or they'll give it from, the electorate gives the politician a mandate, something. It's an authorization to act. And so as an expressive human being with a genius, we have the authorization to act from existence in the way that we do. Okay, let me explain that a little bit more. At a different level of our awareness, we have a conscious level, we have the unconscious. At a different layer, there is a repository, there's a collection of unique skills, gifts, talents, and callings that makes us uniquely us. And those skills, those callings, those gifts are meant to be given by you, right? And so when I always say that genius is not about Mozart or Einstein, it's just about everyday people. What I mean by that is that to express our genius means to get in touch with that layer of expression and not compare it to anybody or not try to match up anybody. Like Zusi was saying, I'm not trying to be like Moses. You're not trying to be like Einstein or Mozart. You're supposed to be like you. That's what existence needs. Einstein did his thing. Mozart did his thing, right? You need to do yours. And that little contribution or big contribution, who knows what it is what is there for you to do. And that comes from, again, that layer of identity that is your genius, your collection of gifts to give. No one else can do it, and you have the mandate from existence to express those qualities. You have the authorization from existence for you to express that. You were born with them. You're meant to express those things. You were literally born to express those things. And so it's important, like, when I work with people in uncovering their genius, what I look for, as we're talking and we're getting from the psychology down to the genius level of awareness, it pops in every once in a while. And I do this work to try and help people find that layer of genius where they can express from for their sense of life purpose, right? And so when we get down to that layer of genius, I can see a few telltale signs. One, the person kind of sits up. If they're kind of slouched over or whatever, they kind of sit up. They get a little bit more excited. They even maybe lean forward, their eyes open a little bit, and they start speaking with a sense of authority about whatever it is. Whatever it is, and I know there is their genius. They start, if they're, again, we're using the trombone. When the person starts talking about their trombone playing, if that's their genius, they're going to tell me the nuances of what makes it feel amazing to play that trombone, of, just like the ins and outs of how they see that instrument and what it feels like to play that instrument and experiences that they've had. And there's a sense of authority that they get when they're speaking, kind of like I am. See, I'm leaning in. There's a sense of authority here. And I've seen so many people do this around so many different things, where there's this fire, this kind of, really this abundance and this richness that comes out of them when they're on that streak of their genius, when they're on that layer of awareness where, this is what makes me tick. This is what I'm here for, right? And a lot of people most people don't recognize that as their genius, and they kind of just get inspired and then it kind of, fizzles out and they don't really do anything about it. But what I try to do is kind of help them to see that that's a doorway, and they need to go into that door and see what's in their genius identity and bring it out more and express it, like as a really important thing. Okay. So this uniqueness that we're expressing as our genius is important, because only you, with whatever your genius is going to be able to express that particular thing. Don't leave it for somebody else, because it's not going to happen. And the world is poorer for you not expressing your genius. That's an incredible thing. So let's do another story. Okay, I got another story that works really well with this. And there was a king who had 3 sons, and his 3 sons they were all bright guys. And, I don't know why he didn't have any daughters, but let's just talk about the sons for this story. The king didn't know which son was going to kind of take over for him. And so he consulted a wise man, and the wise man gave him this one test to work with his sons on. And what the test was, he came there and he said to his 3 sons, look, I'm going to give each of you a bag of seeds. And this bag of seeds, I want you to take care of it while I go on this pilgrimage. And I'm going to be gone for like a year. Okay. And whoever takes care of these seeds the best will be my inheritor, will take over the kingdom when I croak, basically. So gives him the seeds. He takes off, and the oldest son says, "You know what? I know my father, and I think the best thing I can do to make sure I take care of these seeds is to lock them up and make sure nothing can happen to them." Right? So I'm going to lock them up in this chest, this iron chest, and when he comes back, they're going to be amazingly intact, and he'll see that I know how to take care of things. The second son, the middle child, which is, we always know there's a problem with the middle child. The middle child says, "You know what? That's not a good idea. I don't think that's what he wants me to do with it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the market and sell these seeds. And when he comes back, I'm going to take the money I get and go buy new seeds. So we'll have fresh seeds. And then, he can see that, whoa, that's how I'm taking care of these seeds." Right? Then the third son, he was like, "Nah, you guys are both wrong." And he went out to the garden and he planted all the seeds, just planted them. And the first two is like, "Ah, you idiot." The youngest son always gets, gets criticized by the older two. He's like, "You idiot. He's going to come back. Your seeds are gone. Who knows what's going to happen with that thing, with your plants? They may grow, they may not. They might all burn up, but you've got no seeds left. So, good luck with that." So a year later, the father comes back. The first son goes into the chest, gives him the seeds. He said, "These seeds, they are kind of dry and dusty, like they've been locked away for a long time, and that was not the point of this. You're not going to be the inheritor." The second son went out to the market and he bought new seeds and he gave them to his dad. And the king says, "Look, these are not the same seeds I gave you. These are different. So you didn't take care of them. You sold them. And now I have these inferior seeds that you got." They went to the third son and said, "Where are your seeds?" He said, "Come out and see." And he went out into the garden, and there was all kinds of plants and crazy flowers and fruit and everything that had grown from him distributing those seeds. And he said, "I don't have the seeds you gave me, but I'm sure that these plants are going to create new seeds from those." And the king, of course, said, "Yes, that is what I meant. That is how you take care of seeds. That's what you do with seeds." Right? So you're going to be the inheritor. You're going to be the new king. So what's the importance of this story in this context? Well, as a genius, as a person with a genius, which we all are, without fail, the genius is the seed of self-expression. The seed contains all of our potential in it for everything we're going to express in this lifetime. Okay? The potential for our purposeful expression, where it means something to express what you have within you. Okay? That seed has got to be planted in order to perform the function of a seed. Okay? When we don't listen to our genius, when we don't express it, when we discount it, it stays in the vault or it gets sold in the marketplace and nothing happens. But to plant the seed of genius like that young son did means you have to locate it, you have to spend time finding it, you have to be able to recognize it, and you have to express it. Expressing your genius, expressing your unique gifts into the world is how you plant the seeds, right? And they need to be planted. They need to be, it's like you're taking a risk to bring out your genius and put it out in the world, just like that son was taking a risk and putting the seeds in the ground, right? But without putting them in the ground, they remain just a seed. They are only doing part of their job. So you have the seeds of genius within you, your particular seeds. If you don't put them out, if you don't express them, they'll remain a seed. Okay? Okay, but that's not really the whole point. The seeds are supposed to grow into something. Your genius expressed is supposed to grow into something. It's meant to grow. It's meant to be more than what it already is. And that's part of your mandate. Your authorization to act is to make your genius qualities into more than what they are in potential in you. You were born with them, but that's not the end. That's the beginning. Take your genius seed out, plant it in expression in the world, and then it becomes more of what it's supposed to be. All right, good. So let's do this. We're going to take a short commercial break. On the other side of that break, I'm going to walk you through a guided journey on how to kind of access part of your genius seeds that you were born with, your potential. And then we're going to kind of walk you through a way of not keeping them in seed form and being able to express them in the world. Hey guys, I'm really excited to let you know that I'm finishing up my new course, the Genius Way Process course. This course is for anyone who wants to discover what's in their genius, their inborn gifts, their talents, and their callings. In this course, I'm going to provide you with the 10 life skills that we all need to access our individual genius and to make it a part of our everyday life. If you'd like to know more about the Genius Way Process course and when it's available, go to thegeniusway.com and sign up to get notified. I can't wait to share this with you. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in and then deeply exhale. Imagine that you're taking a tour of an ancient pyramid. You see yourself entering the pyramid through an opening that leads down a long passageway. As you continue down the passageway, you notice unfamiliar hieroglyphics inscribed on the walls around you. At the end of the passageway, something that's moving catches your eye, and you realize that you're looking into a full-length mirror, seeing your own reflection. Somehow, you're able to read the hieroglyphics around the mirror, and you understand that this mirror can show you what your inborn genius gifts are, and that it can answer one question from you. You look into the mirror and see what it wants to show you. What genius quality of yours do you see in the reflection? Have you been aware of this genius gift that you have? Have you been able to express this gift in your life so far? For more clarity, ask the mirror one question about your genius. What do you ask? Now allow the mirror to answer you. What answer do you receive? As you turn to leave the pyramid, you also receive a vision of how to express this part of your genius in your life. What is the vision that you see? Remember to spend time expressing this part of your identity for a sense of life purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. And now, with this experience fully intact in your awareness, and when you're ready, open your eyes and come back into this room. So one of the things I try to help people look for in their kind of search for their genius qualities is to locate a sense of urgency. So let me explain what that means. So when I say urgency, I'm not talking about panic or anxiety, but to find a level of urgency where I need to express something. There's something in me that I want to get out of me as an expression. There's something that I want to do that makes me feel fulfilled. And there is a level of what's another word for urgency? There's a level of like a little bit of tension there. Again, not anxiety or panic, but a little bit of tension because something hasn't been done yet. So have you ever felt like that? Like there is something undone still in my life. Like there is more to me than I have already expressed. I haven't laid it out on this. I haven't left it all on the stage or on the field or whatever. I'm not done yet. So have you ever felt like that? Like I've expressed some things, but not really what I want to express. So it's an uncomfortable feeling only until you actually find your genius qualities, that layer of awareness in you. You found that and you found what it is you want to express and are expressing it. So there's an urgency, a slight tension, which is your genius saying, "Hey, hello, I'm here. Hello? Have you forgotten about me? I haven't forgotten about you. Come on. Let's get something going here." So that's the sense of urgency that is literally a blessing to be aware of. Okay? Because it helps you to kind of remember, oh, there is a gift that I have to give to the world. There is a message, there is an expression, whatever you want to call it. And what that is again, doesn't have to be a cure for cancer, It doesn't have to be, creating the foundation of that saves the world. It just has to be your gift, whatever it is. Whatever it is. And the world needs everything. Existence needs everything. And don't forget, you are meant to give whatever it is you have. You are meant to express it. And when we express it, we get to enjoy it. It feels really fulfilling. It feels like you landed on your life purpose. And in some weird, mysterious way, it happens to be a blessing and a gift to everyone else you come in contact with. I don't know how that works, but it just is that way, So it is important to find that sense of urgency within your genius expression, that layer of genius. And the first way to recognize that sense of urgency, that your genius is like, hey, I need to say something, is by feeling that little bit of tension, a little bit of like, hey, pay attention to me. Pay attention to this feeling here that there's more to you than you've expressed so far. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, let's take another commercial break. And on the other side of that, I will meet you with some words of inspiration to send you on your way this week.
Ben Hummell's writing comes from a deep well of experience, practice, and wisdom. The Genius Way teaches you the life skills you need to find your own unique genius. Summoning Genius helps readers to turn a midlife crisis into an opportunity for personal growth. You can find Ben's books on thegeniusway.com, Amazon, and most online booksellers.
In your authentic expression, your life is a gift to the world. It is the ingredient that was to be added to the world you were born into by you from an existential mandate. Your particular gift only happens once in all of time, and that's why it's so important to recognize your individual genius self, where this unique gift resides. Looking at your life this way, it's important to learn to sense the urgency of expressing your gift while you're still here, because there's literally no one else who's able to do it. Hey, that's our show for this week. Thank you guys for coming by and spending time with me. I really enjoy spending this time with you. And here is your weekly self-inquiry journal prompt for you to write down and explore. What is it that feels urgent in me to express outwardly? Okay, once again, what is it in me that feels urgent to express outwardly? All right. So until next week, guys, I want to invite you to stay curious, be kind to yourself, and remember that your genius has something to say.
Thanks for watching The Genius Way Show with Ben Hummell. Make sure to visit thegeniusway.com for the resources you need to help you on your personal life journey. You can contact Ben at ben@thegeniusway.com. And you can follow The Genius Way with Ben Hummell on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for streaming The Genius Way Show with Ben Hummell.